Hi, guys. Ronda Winstead here with you. It's good to see you. I'm happy to be back with you. And I want to welcome all the new subscribers. I have just been overwhelmed. I am just so grateful, and I hope you love it here. Okay, so today's video, we are going to transform the humble paper sack or paper bag. We are going to turn the humble paper sack or bag into an ephemera holder. This, for those of you that are new, my spelling isn't always great. And I made this some time ago. This houses all my Roxy Creations, well, not all, but some of her digitals that I work with all the time. And I have a video showing how I put this together, and I will link that below in the description box for those of you that want to check that out. But I thought that I would work on a new one, and this is going to be for my Tina SHABBYDABBYDOODAH's ephemera. As you can, let's see, let me bring this in here a little bit, excuse the reach. I have been fussy cutting and doing, yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff since I have been, just having a good time in her shop. And of course, I would encourage everybody to, support her that way. Continued support. She needs our love, our prayers, and, if you can, that's totally understandable. But just, keep her in your prayers. And she does have also links to Ko-fi, where you can donate. You can buy her, coffee or hot chocolate, or in my case, it would be a hot cocoa or a soft drink because I don't drink coffee. But anyway, there are different ways that you can be supportive of her. And I have to say thank you, Tina. She watched my video, and I was so nervous about doing the video, and yet I just really felt I wanted to do it. Oh, okay, wait. Here we go. Let me explain what I'm doing. We're taking these paper bags apart, okay? So you can I am a quilter, or used to be a quilter, and so I use a rotary cutter and rulers all the time. But you can use whatever method you do with your cutting. But you want to just snip off the very edge of the bottom of a paper bag. The size I'm working with here is a number 4. You can get them in the grocery store, wherever you get bags, and they're really pretty cheap for the most part. So what I did was cut this one, and then I fold this flap back, and I cut the other edge. Now, to completely open up the bag, and finish cutting, I'm going to open it up like I normally would, and we're just going to cut along this line, and we'll flip it over, and we will cut along this line, sort of, maybe. Okay, so now we have a tube. So then what I do is I look to find where my seam is, where they put the paper bag together, where they glued it. And I use that as a folding place. Okay. And I line it out. and this will help me create a page. So the next step is I'm going to take this to my ironing board. I'm going to spritz it with water on both sides. Then I'm going to press it and on both sides, and I shall return. In fact, well, let's see. Let me just do this. Okay, so here I am. I have ironed this on both sides. So now I am almost ready. So for a page, I will use 2 paper bags just to make sure it's got plenty of thickness. So the other thing, so to do this, you'll need paper bags, you'll need glue stick preferably, and some more secure glue if you don't want to sew, and washi tape if you want, or fabric, whatever you want. And as you can see, I am just putting a little strip of glue on the inside of my bag just to kind of hold it together. And then she said, and I have another one here that I had ironed previously. I hope you're having a good day, everyone. And then what I'm going to do is put the 2 together. And so I will use my glue stick to just, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just tacking it down because I am going to stitch on mine. But if you're not, then I would recommend a drier glue if possible. Okay. Now, what I want to do is even up the bottom edge. So I'm just measuring, I'm utilizing my ruler on my mat board here, but I had measured previously and it came to 9.5 inches for this particular bag that I'm using. Your measurements could be completely different. So then I'm just putting down and cutting that away. Scissors, and like a little X-Acto knife or whatever it is that you do, that's great. Okay, so then I have another 2 set of bags. So now I'm ready to do a page, to go ahead and decorate and put my pockets on. So the next thing that I want to do is to go ahead and cover up this little emblem. You don't have to. And if you want, you could put decorative paper on this. You could do anything you want. And, you could completely cover the paper bags. In fact, if you took one and you covered it, with some pretty paper or extra scrapbooking paper or digitals, whatever, then you wouldn't necessarily need to put 2 of these together. So it's up to you. However, I want to make sure that I don't have a lot of distraction on my design, so that I can easily, find my ephemera, my little bits, my pictures, my, the things that I want to add to that. And so that's why I'm just kind of going to go with the flow, and do mine just white. And isn't that just, Tina is just the sweetest thing ever. And so she does a video thanking everybody. And so what does she do? She spends time that she needs to be doing other things for her court case, and she makes more digitals as freebies for all of us. Is that just amazing? It is. She's amazing. Okay. So let me find my tear ruler. So I am just covering little bits and pieces, and I'm not good at this part. When it's just a little bit and trying to tear a digital, especially with my tear ruler. Oops, so sorry. I jiggled you, I'm sorry. I'm a little better if I have a little more room on the sides, but I do have to remember to keep my hand firmly down when I'm trying to tear. And I'm just using this beautiful digital of Tina's to go ahead and just cover these with that. So I'm just doing a little wraparound. So I'm going to do that, and we will hopefully I've gauged that all right. You can measure if you need to, if you want to. That's totally good. I can be, weird about that, but I also can do it just by, eyeballing it. I'm good about measuring some things, but not everything, that's for sure. So then I'm just using a glue stick to glue that up nicely. Oh, and what I should have done, and I'll tell you what you should do. Let me tell you what you should do. Oh, no. But what you can do is you can decorate and then put this on, or anyway, doesn't matter really, but so there we've got one ready, and we will get this other one. It's kind of sticky in that spot. Try to find another spot that's not sticking. So you guys, it has gotten hot here in Arkansas. And what is it, 3 days ago? We had a 80, 90 mile an hour winds. Oh, so sorry. I don't know what's the matter with me today. Coming through the area, and it was hit and miss. So hubby and I were just fine. I mean, a bit of debris on the grass, and the new lawn that we bought sod. Remind me, and sometime I'll tell you about the sod story. Anyway, but we have to keep it wet, really wet, for a while, until the sod takes, and then it'll be fine. But anyway, so thankfully we had the sod already laid when the storm came, and we were fine. Just a little bit of branches and that kind of thing down. And one of our sons, who lives just not even 5 minutes really from us, just a different street in the same area, they got more severe damage. They had a tree come down, and it went onto his shop and went through the roof, and did quite a bit of damage. So we're grateful that they were okay. And some in the church that I go to. Where's my fabric scissors? Just a sec. Fabric scissors. That we attend. Some of the members of the church, they live out further, and they got severely damaged. Oh my goodness. They got hit horribly. And so no one was hurt. No one was physically hurt, which is wonderful, but they had severe damage to some of their property and whatnot. And so there's been kind of all hands on deck trying to, get some service done out that way. Okay, so as you can see, I have my 2 pages ready to go in my, for my book. And what I'm doing to put my pages together, I am using strips of a cotton fabric. And this is just a fun piece that I picked up in an antique or junk store that I like. And I have previously done some pages that I'll show you here. And so this is a tricky part, and this is what I explain in more detail on the other video. So if you want further details on the whole process, then, go watch that video. But what you do is you start with your middle page. So this is my middle page. And I had some grease paper. I'd seen it before, and I don't even remember. It was in something else that I bought at a junk store or garage sale or something, and I just haven't used it. It's just, I don't know what to do with it. And yet I was looking for papers like vellum or heavy tracing paper or plastic, to make it so that my pockets were clear and I could see. And then I looked at this and it's like, that's perfect. So thankfully, I have used that. So I'm not going to go into details on all of this except to say that you start with your middle page. Say this is your middle page, okay? Then if you're using fabric or paper, and if you use paper, you want a stronger, like maybe a Tyvek type or something that's got a lot of strength, because you don't want it to, to break in the middle. You want it to last a long time. And so my strips, I might place just a little bit apart, not too much, but just enough so that it'll fold nicely over on itself, okay? So that would be the first page, just barely, just a little bit. And then, of course, you want to try to keep them straight so that they line up nicely. So what I do is I put a strip on both sides, and I use a glue stick to tack it, and then I turn it over and tack it with the glue stick on the other side, and then I take it, when I'm ready, then I take it to my sewing machine. So I just wanted to share that with you. And now these pages, I'm ready for a bigger space. So each one that you do, your space is going to increase. And so whatever page you decide to start with, this is one that in this method, you can't really do it and then switch them all around. Does that make sense? Because your lining up of the edges is going to be way off if you do that. So this was page 2, and I'm using Amity Bloom tapes. She had those recently again in her shop, and I was able to get some of those, and they're just pretty. They're pretty and they're floral, and I decided to use white sacks because why not? And that makes me think about Tina with Shabby Dabby Doodah. more so, than maybe some of the more vintage. I don't know why, but so this one that I just did, can you see how far spaced that is? I don't know if you can see through that or not. So comparatively speaking, let's go back to this first one. This was just a smidgen. They were really close together, you can see. And so my strip was more narrow too. I cut my strip more narrow. I kind of try to have it sort of match, but yeah. If it's not perfect, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. This is for me. So then the next one was a little further out, and then the next one's a little further out, and then this one was quite a bit further out. And it's not always perfect like this one. I could have taken this out a little bit more and it would have been a little better, because I'm kind of having to really squeeze to get this, big enough to sort of cover that completely. And so I tried to make sure I was more careful, more careful about this next one. And as you can see, I've been alternating, what are these? These are transparency film sheets of paper that I found in a junk store, something like that. And so I have been using those because I didn't have enough of the greased paper. And so I've been going every other to kind of make it look, like I sort of meant it to be. Although. So for this one, I need to have a much wider space, and I will want to kind of eyeball that, sort of. Let me just get this one down. This is the part that can be a little fiddly. Oh, not going to lie to you. Okay, so that was, well, I'm not going to lie to you anyway. Okay. So I think I'm going to go like an inch apart on this one to do my strips. And you can do this a couple of different ways if you choose to do this particular ephemera holder. You can put on your washi tapes, decorative, around first, or other strips. You can use other fabric, you can use other papers to decorate, anything you want to do, or leave it plain. That's totally fine too. And of course, if you leave it plain, then this would be your next step. And since I've actually been doing my washi tape first. I don't know why I did that, why I started that, because I actually like the look better if I do the strip first and then the washi tape. Oh well, since we did, let's go ahead and continue, and we will do the washi tape first, so you'll get to see that. At least I'll do one, and then I will do the other off camera, so that you're not like, oh, come on. That's good, Rhonda. Let's move it along. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 sides is what I'm going to cover. And the reason I'm only doing 3 sides is because I am putting that fabric on the inside. And so I don't need to I don't need to cover that. I am also putting a little bit of glue there just to help secure it. I have noticed that this set of washi tapes, this last time, they're not quite as sticky as the first ones that I purchased. And I don't know if that's by design or not, but because of that, I don't want there to be any chance of it coming off. So I'm also just gluing to make sure that that is secure. But this makes, you guys, this makes just such a nice, simple, beautiful. I mean, look at that. Her bloom tapes are absolutely gorgeous. But I will say that they aren't quite as sticky, but we can always, how many of those that we buy in the store are sticky? Not very many, at least I'm not familiar with very many that are like that. So, I mean, it may be something that's completely out of her control. I just think it's wonderful that she's doing this. It's just amazing. Okay, so we will just continue the process. Just continue the process. Easy peasy, takes a bit of time. This is one of those projects, guys, that don't get discouraged if it takes you a minute or two. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Sometimes it just takes us a little bit. Some of you I've already shared this, but for those of you that maybe haven't watched consistently or that might be new, that's one thing that my hubby has, by the way, I have the most amazing husband ever, ever, ever. He has just been a sweetheart. And, not every husband is amazing. And of course, for the guy friends out there, I'm sure not every wife or not every boy or girlfriend. I mean, it is what it is, but I feel very blessed to have a wonderful partner. So then I just trim off anything that's excess. And look how pretty that's getting. Gosh, love that. Love that. Now, the reason that I say that you could do this after this is that my thought was to have this come up, that the washi tape, up to the washi tape. But that's just, it's neither here nor there, really. Okay. And we'll just, yeah. Anyway, I I get distracted too. So hubby was saying to me as I was stressing one day when this has been a few years ago, but when I was more into the quilting phase of my art. Many of us go through different phases, do we not? I was stressing. I was making quilt blocks and I had a fuzzy wall, where you put everything, you put the blocks on as you finish them and you organize and design and blah, blah, blah. And I was stressing. And he's like, Rhonda, does this have to be done today? Well, no. Well, tomorrow? No. Well, aren't you supposed to enjoy it? Yeah. So it was just like a huge duh moment, It's like, what? Why am I stressing? I'm enjoying this. I love to sew. I love to design. I love these quilts. So why am I stressing about this? So that was a good reminder for me. Okay. So as you can see, this is very beautiful. I'm going to put you guys on pause and I will finish the other side and I shall return. Don't go away. Okay, now we have the two finished and I'm ready to put the pages together, and I am leaving about an inch space between these two. Now I had previously cut these strips and I think I'm going to be okay with this. It's not nearly as much on each side, but I think they'll work. And I'm just going to run a glue stick on the edge, and then we will line this up, put it to where the fold hopefully will go over the middle there. Like I said, this is not perfection, which none of us can achieve to, not in this life anyway. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And I will tell you, I just put little pieces, one on each kind of edge or top, just over my washi to lay these out so they wouldn't move while I'm putting on my fabric, just so that it lines up nicely. And I don't need those anymore. But be careful if you do decide to use something like that, that you don't, rip something by putting a little bit of tape down. You want to be aware of that. Okay, so we'll just turn that over. We'll throw that away. We will run a line just on the edge here and on the edge here. And we will cover this side. So we have extra strength, guys, by doing that. We just, we've just added a bit more strength to the spine. And cross your fingers. Now let's just sort of put these together and we'll see how we did. I can take it apart if I need to because I haven't sewn anything yet. So let's see what we did. Okay. Now it goes outside, just, well, not too bad. That's not too bad, but I think it might actually be best if it comes in just a little bit. So I am going to take this all off and I'm going to start all over. So, crafting, creating, it's just fun, right? And so we're not trying to necessarily hurry, right? So you can see what I'm doing again here. I am just, and instead of an inch, I'm going to come in just a smidgen, but I do want this to line up. So I am going to do this and make sure that it lines up. Okay, we'll do there. We'll do one more. So what's up with you guys? I would love to hear what's going on in your life. I know some of you are having hot temperatures, just like we are having hot temperatures, and others not so much. You know what? It's good I did that because this was wrong side. I was doing it the wrong side. So let's do this again. I'm lining that up and just trying to kind of stretching it just a smidgen as I go. Okay. Turn it over. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. See what happens when you get on camera? I'm telling you guys, things happen. All right. But now I'm getting lazy because I'm like, I don't want to have to do that all over again. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like, I'm sure this is going to work. So let's just do that. Now let's carefully turn it over. And then we'll do the other side. If nothing else, you can chuckle and say, wow, she really doesn't know what she's doing. Have you seen that weird person? All right. Now, I'm going to try this one more time. And if it still is a little bit, I'm not going to worry about it because, but that just shows you guys, you can adjust. If you feel like you didn't do a great job and you want to do it over, then you can. See, I'm good with that. This is good now. So we'll just take those little bits of tape off, get rid of those. And then I will take this to my sewing machine. So what I'm going to do, just so you're aware, I'm going to stitch down both sides to secure it. And then I'm going to place my pockets on and I'm going to stitch those down. And you can adjust your pockets by whatever you need. If you need a lot, you can do a lot and smaller spaces, whatnot. This is the part that, you can kind of play with a little bit to try to see how you want to do it. But this is kind of how I have been doing mine in this ephemera holder. I've been coming up from the washi and just using that as kind of my bottom line there. And I've just been lining them up, and I'm using, for this to tack them down, I'm actually using my art glitter glue, just a thin line, just a real thin line. Well, I'll glue one on just to show you, and then I'm going to do the rest off camera. So, and my hands are shaky, guys. I'm sorry, but it is a product of the cancer, the treatments and different things. My handwriting stinks. It used to be nice, but not anymore. Okay. So I do it on 3 sides. And I would use this kind of as my bottom. I don't want it to extend beyond, so you want to make sure that, and of course I have cut these, I've measured these and cut them, so you would previously do that. So what I will do is go ahead, and I'm going to, for a more simple process, I'm going to go ahead and glue all of these on, and then glue these on, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the back side, trying to line them up so that when I stitch, I'm stitching through pockets on both sides, front and back. And then when I stitch these down, I will also be stitching my pockets down, okay? So I will return in just a minute. Okay, we are back, and I have finished this page, this double page. Actually, it turns into 4 pages if you count it. So I have a total of 5 4-page spreads, if you will. Not really spreads, but you know what I mean, with pockets and whatnot for the ephemera. And this turned out really pretty nice. I did have to do a little patch job because I ran out of this and I only had a couple of pieces odd shaped, but I still wanted to do it. And this, you know, this isn't I'm not giving this away, so I'm okay with it for just me. But yeah, I was kind of like, oh, but it turned out cool. I'm excited about it. So now I just have to put a cover on it and stitch it, sew it together, and then I can start putting all these delicious little bits of ephemera here and there and everywhere. Anyway, this will be my Shabby Dabby Doo ephemera book, pocket, whatever you want to call it. I also want to point out a couple of things here, guys, that these are really fun. Encourage you to continue to support Tina. And I wanted to give a shout out also to Rachel, Roxy Creations. I'm on her design team. And I also am on Barbara 49 Dragonflies, her design team. And they're amazing gals. Love them. And they also have done videos for, they maybe aren't calling them ephemera folders or ephemera, I don't know what they're calling them. I don't remember, but I've watched their videos. So I'm also going to put a link down below so that you can check out if you want to see some other ideas of things that people have done for this type of, you know, to keep some of the ephemera a little bit neater, that you can check out their videos. Okay. All right. So love you guys. This was so much fun. Thank you for hanging out with me. And again, welcome to all the new subbies. I hope you love it here. Don't be afraid to comment. That's how I really kind of get to know you. And you will love my subbies that have been with me for a long time. It's a great group here. So, all right, till next video. Love you guys. Bye-bye.